Giants at 6. It's heavy rumor season here, Trevor.
Mm-hmm.
And the teams that have been at least rumored or connected with trading up for a quarterback include the Giants at 6, the
Mm-hmm.
Falcons at 8,
Mm-hmm.
the Vikings at 11, the Broncos at
Mm-hmm.
12, and the Raiders at 13. So everybody's trading up for quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
What's the Giants' best case scenario here at 6?
The Giants' best case scenario is well, again, it's quarterback. I mean, the answer to this question, an easy answer to this question, is quarterback. Best case scenario, Chicago wants to get out of number 1. You move up from 6 to 1. You go get Caleb Williams. The second best scenario, Washington somehow has a divisional change of heart with new ownership, and like Kwesi Adafo-Mensah did the other year, where he was traded with the Detroit Lions, I think a couple of times, right? It was like, oh, well, that was supposed to be taboo, right? You never trade with the team within your division, but they ended up getting a deal done, and like that's the second best case scenario. And then the third best case scenario is they trade up with New England. New England, let's say, only likes 2 of the top 3 quarterbacks in this class. When they get to number 3, they like a lot of the receivers. They want to move back. No matter how you slice it, the best case scenario for the New York Giants is to draft a quarterback, one of these top 3 quarterbacks. I'm not a Daniel Jones guy. I really have not been for basically the entirety of it. There have been flashes where you go like, okay, like Daniel Jones, is he picking it up here? But to me, they've only been flashes. And going back to the very first conversation that we had when we started this exercise, the goal, if you don't have one, is to get a quarterback that is considered a top 5 quarterback in this league. For as much as you want to try to jump through hoops and look at different numbers and try to defend the Daniel Jones contract or where the Giants were when they made that decision, I don't think there is anybody in football that would tell you that Daniel Jones is going to become a Super Bowl winning quarterback based off of what we've already seen. So with that being the case, their best play is to go up and try to get another player who might be that. And that's this best case scenario for the Giants. And that's honestly the best case scenario for the Falcons too. We're basically handling those 2 you mentioned. They're right there in the top 10. We're going to talk about the Falcons soon in a little bit, but it's the same conversation with them. Their best case option, going to number 1, going to number 2, going to number 3. That's basically what it is for me.
The Daniel Jones pick, because at the time I didn't love it. He goes, 6 overall?
6, yeah.
And they're at 6 right now. I didn't love it at the time. And he turned out to be even better than I thought. But again, the goal is, a game changer. This game changer, game manager discussion. But basically a top 5, top 8 type of quarterback. That just increases your odds of winning. Daniel Jones is the perfect example of a guy that has become a solid NFL starter. He'll have years where he's dead smack average. I think he had a year where he was above average. They make the playoffs. He's had years where he was below average. The goal is not to find every other position, it's okay to find a starter. Like if you find a starting tackle and he's not elite, he still brings value to your team. Mm-hmm. If you find a starting caliber quarterback and he's not elite and he's just dead smack average, you're kind of in no man's land, right? You might be able to win when he's on a rookie contract. You might be able to make a little bit of a playoff run if you make so many other good moves or do something like the Niners where you have an elite play caller and elite playmakers and elite defense, then you make a Super Bowl run. But if you don't do all those things, it's a challenge. So that's why and then the Giants, of course, made the mistake of extending Daniel Jones. So that's why they're in this position. I'm with you. Now there's downside. This is just like having 4th down decisions, Trevor. I want to go for it on 4th down because it increases my win probability. Yes. Mm-hmm. If you miss, it also increases your loss probability. But it's like if you sit there and do nothing, what are you doing, right? And if you're the Giants and you're sitting there doing nothing and you're trying to overtake the Cowboys and the Eagles and you're just going to roll Daniel Jones and try to build the team around him, he's also not even locked up that long into the future. So seeing the Giants make a move for quarterback makes sense.